It's a beautiful day in the gamerhood, a beautiful day for my gamers. Would you be one? Could you be one? It's out about thunder, but don't despair. This colony's breeding great robbers. Would you be one? Could you be one? If the 80% mortality rate works for you, for a few bucks a month you can sign up and have the Hobbs kill you. So let's make the most of another Sunday. Brew up some coffee and play it my way. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my gamers? Won't you please, won't you be my gamers?
Hey everybody, welcome to the Gamerhood. Today there's no game. Today it's just the pre-show and then the show and then the post-show, and we're going to be doing a Hobbs and Friends episode number 69. I'm not by myself though. I got my man who I have indirectly talked about quite a bit, Zack Wolf. How you doing, Zack?
Not too bad, my friend. How are you doing today?
Real good. It's nice to actually see you. Normally I think we were just email,
Yeah.
Twitter. I mean, I think we've contacted each other every way that you can on every social media
For like
possible.
6 months, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, almost right after, I think you put out the first thing on the Kickstarter. All right.
Yeah.
So we don't want to get too deeply into the weeds here because we want to unless all the people in the pre-show and post-show want to hear. Anyway, Zack is the man behind Spell Sword. Here it is. This is from Zine Quest 2. I would have to say this gets the number one gold hoodie from Zine Quest 2 of all the products that I have. And it's called The Evils of Ilmire.
Excellent.
So I appreciate
Golden hoodie?
Famous people have their own awards, right? And
Yeah.
I have the Gamer Hood here on the Twitch, so I thought a golden hoodie would be like, a top award for products.
That's excellent. I'll take it. I appreciate that. I'm glad that
Yeah.
you like it.
I do. So we got Jason Weeb, Mark, CMG, and Beast King 1980 all in the chat so far. So we have a Canadian, a dude from Wisconsin in the U.S., and a guy from Dubai all in the chat on Twitch right now wanting to check us out, my man.
Kick ass. That's awesome.
All right. So I guess, hey, Twitchers, you guys got anything that you want to comment about or anything? I don't see anybody on YouTube. One person's watching, so that's cool. I'm new at this, so this is the first one we've multi-streamed before. So,
Yeah, so I've never streamed anything. So
all right. Well, so far you're doing great, man. You have better camera knowledge already than almost everybody that plays in every one of my streaming games.
camera knowledge. What's camera knowledge?
Like you're like staying in camera. You're not like
Oh,
bouncing
gotcha.
out of the camera.
Okay.
You're not.
You want me
like,
over here? Is this better?
bouncing. Yeah, like I got some guys that I take 5 minutes ahead of time, get everyone's cameras right, and then they stand up, and all I can see is their shirt or whatever.
Or the ceiling.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Their laptop pops up. Yeah, all those crazy things. Hey, Rat Ward, welcome to the show, man. We haven't started the actual podcast yet. This is the pre-show. Anybody have anything that you might want me to ask about that I can add to the outline on the fly? Otherwise, if you stick with us, we're going to record for 40 minutes and then we'll have a post show where hopefully Zack will have time to maybe interact with the chat, and we'll answer any questions or anything that we didn't get through during the actual podcast.
Sounds good.
Yeah, man. So we have a few people watching. I haven't checked Facebook yet. See if I remember how. Anyone who would like to watch the stream in another one of the things. We got 4 people on YouTube. This thing is like, we're going crazy, man. What's happening here?
Nice.
People might be excited to see Hobbs and Friends back because it's been a while, and I have had a lot of loyal patrons that have stuck with me through changing to streaming and kind of edging away from podcasting stuff. So I really appreciate that.
Excellent.
I feel like I'm dominating the conversation, though. You
No.
got anything you want to say that I'm not asking you about?
Well, I'm excited to be episode number 69. I mean, I think that's
Why is
appropriate.
why is that?
It's a good
kidding.
number.
It is a good number in many ways because it's kind of it looks the same if you like reverse it or upside down.
Exactly.
There's a lot of cool things about it.
Yeah, I remember I got this Princess Bride DVD one time, and it was the same no matter which way you flipped the title. I thought that was really neat. So
Yeah,
I'm down. 69, baby.
It's like a visual palindrome, right? What
Exactly. There you go.
is there a name for that? Reflection, maybe? I don't.
Yeah, there's a name for it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
They did one with the labyrinth too, I think, which I thought was really neat.
yeah, mini mega. Oh,
Mini Mega.
is he looking at the product somewhere? And it's called it's a mini mega dungeon or something? Do you have that term?
Yeah,
You do
so
a
I
mini
don't
mega
know.
hex crawl. I used that same term in some before.
Excellent. Okay, I'm not crazy then. Other people were making fun of me for that.
Well, people make fun of everybody. That
That's
doesn't
true.
mean anything.
That's true. It is the internet.
Yeah, so mini mega, that's a good thing. I'll put that down. We'll make sure we touch on that when we get into the product.
Exactly.
So people often accuse me of gushing about my guests, and I've already talked quite a bit about this product throughout, on Random Screed because I ran an actual campaign using it. So we're gonna get into that, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, it was fun watching it. It's crazy to see, the how it's expressed. Like the ideas that you put down and then you see them expressed is kind of it's always interesting. There's
That
people like
is.
running play by post and stuff like that. You can go back and read. It's really neat. It's awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait to pick your brain about and talk about some of your new products that your
Yes.
projects that you're looking forward to. That's going to be great. But
Next
really,
week, man.
I just want to see what you think about all my Roll20 maps.
No, that sounds great. I want to see because I played some old school essentials online and it was key on Roll20. If you're playing that old school, it really helps to have the maps.
Yeah, that's definitely what I was doing. So I want to say, I feel like I have some new people in on the stream. That worked. I put out a media blast on the Twitters and everywhere, on all the Discords and on Facebook, to try and show up and see what we got going on today. If you guys want to follow, there's a follow button, whether it's Twitch, whether it's YouTube, whatever. We appreciate any of that, the whole Hobbs and Friends team, which includes every guest that we've ever had on. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Happy to be included. This is awesome.
Yeah, so you're gonna get a new role on the Gamerhood Discord. I give every guest on the Hobbs and Friends a new role, so that's exciting.
Leveling up.
Yeah, Mark CMG, that's a good question. We're definitely gonna talk about that, what that process was. I think, but I'm gonna forget shit, so I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy answer. So
Yeah. Yeah, we'll hold on to that. I
Okay.
not totally because you have a couple different cartographers, so that was great. What I realized
Oh,
is
right.
I don't have I don't know what I did with the actual outline. I should probably have that available.
You linked it to me in Discord. I know that one.
Oh yeah, I have it. I just don't know where I put it. And
Oh,
and
on
all
your
my
screen.
Yeah, and all my windows and my double thing I got going on here. I want to be in Drive. Here we go. And so, in the bottom of this outline, where it says show notes, any links that you want to share, go ahead and share them there. And you can
I see.
do any writing you want to do here, because I'm going to share this to the patron.
Okay.
To the Patreon, to everyone who follows me on Patreon, so they'll see everything that you put in there, and they'll check out any notes that you have or anything like that. So
Sweet. I'm gonna link my blog, but I'm like terrible at doing. I just don't like doing blog posts. It's just not fun. I don't know why. I'd rather just be working on something than making a blog post. But I'll put it there anyway.
I totally get you, my man, because I tried blogging, and I probably went daily for 2 weeks to a month maybe, and it was fun and it was cool to actually write because I've always considered myself a writer, but I lost it all when I switched. I don't know. It's one of those computer things you have to do, when you're doing it. Not ISP, but like where your host. When I switch hosts, I lost it all.
Oh, right. Yep.
And honestly, I would rather talk about it. I'm a better talker, I think, than I'm a writer, which is unfortunate.
I'm neither. I just don't want to do anything. I just want to like put the thing out there and let people come to their own conclusion.
Grind it. You want a grinder?
Yeah.
You're a grinder, and we need grinders too. So
behind the scenes, man, that's where I like to be. But anyway.
All right. So
not all the time.
I don't know how much time we have for you, but we've been hanging out here almost 15 minutes or so. I think we got some of my main dudes who actually play in games a lot on the Gamerhood, tossing out some questions. We'll keep those in mind. Keep them coming, guys. Like I say, if I don't get to them during the actual interview, the Hobbs and Friends podcast show, I will get to them afterwards. I'm also going to let you know if I don't interact with the chat very much during the podcast portion itself. It's just because people, when they listen to only the audio, they don't like that. They don't like me talking about what someone said or whatever. And so, but we'll really dig into that in the post show afterwards, because this is also going to get released. I mean, it's happening at, this is also happening on YouTube and Facebook right now. So all those people are seeing that either later or right now, right? I mean, I was going to say before, but that doesn't make any sense. All right. So we heard the music once. We're going to hear the music again, and then I'm going to actually start the show. I got to start that iCast thing, wherever that is. Here it is. So I'm going to start recording right now. Go ahead and talk again.
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can. I see you, man. You got some action happening on there. So I'm going to start this recording, but that doesn't mean like he'll be able to, the editor, who is Jerry247, he will just pull right out of the files that this creates. You asked me about Cast earlier. So I use a website called Cast, and it'll take both of our audio streams separately. So like if you have a dog barking on yours, he can just remove that. Or if it was the same audio, it would be more difficult because when he's been removing your audio portions, he'd be affecting my audio as well. But when they're separate, he can do that separately, which is one of the reasons we're doing it. And I have to admit, guys, that even though I have YouTube, Discord, Cast, Twitch, Facebook, all these things playing at once, we're still using less CPU than when I have Roll20, when multiple instances of Roll20 running. I do have one because we're hopefully going to dig into some of my Roll20 stuff so we can talk about that as well.
Not well optimized, huh?
Yes. Egulis, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the show. This will be recorded. It'll be on Twitch for a while. It's going to stay on YouTube, and I think it'll stay on Facebook as well. I'm not as familiar with how Facebook videos work, but it's going to be recorded, and it's also going to be on the podcast Hobbs and Friends on all of your podcast catchers. So all you have to do is do that. Thanks for following. I appreciate it. Much appreciated. So I believe I have found everything I need. So I'm going to write in my little book at what time it starts so I can tell my man. But I think we're ready to go. Is that cool with you, man? I'm going to take a drink quick.
Yeah, do your thing, man.
Shout out to my mentors, Gaming and BS. We got a little Gaming and BS glass here.
Nice.
If you've never heard of Gaming and BS, you should check them out on Twitch and all your podcasting catchers.
I'll look them up right now. Let's see. Gaming and BS.
Well, not right now, man. You got to be paying attention to me, Z.
Well, okay, yeah, but this way, it's there. It's there for when we're done. I can go back. Otherwise, I'll forget.
No problem.
I'm here. I'm locked in. I'm with you.
Locked in. You're doing great. All right, so we're almost ready. 5 seconds. Give me a countdown, weebs.
It's a beautiful day in the gamerhood, a beautiful day for my gamers. Would you be one? Could you be one? Sound about thunder, but don't despair. This colony's breeding Would you be one? Could you be one? If an 80% mortality rate works for you, for a few bucks a month you can sign up and have the Hobbs kill you. So let's make the most of another Sunday. Brew up some coffee and play it my way. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my gamers? Won't you please, won't you be my gamers?
Hey everybody, welcome to Hobbs and Friends. I am your host, Jason Hobbs, and it is so good to be back on the mics, talking to you guys, and just in general, podcasting. It's a little different than streaming, but I'm never going to stop doing it, I don't think. So I would like to introduce a guest that I'm super excited to have on the show. He's a great person to start out 2021. It makes me feel like it's not going to be a dumpster fire and it's going to be something special. He is none other than Zack Wolf of Spell Sword LLC. How you doing, Zack?
Excellent. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that kind introduction there, my friend.
Yeah, man. Do people usually add the LLC or do they just say Spell Sword?
I mean, the government says LLC. Otherwise, I like Spell Sword Home Entertainment. I don't know. That's classic to me. It's like old VHS.
All right. Spell Sword Home Entertainment. Well, we could also say that you have a blog, which is called Spell Sword Studios. You want to talk about that a little?
Yeah, I'm really terrible at blogging, but I will try hard to put something there that is relevant and good to read soon.
Well, I have to tell you that I looked at it today when I was, doing my FBI background check on you, and I saw the first post that really interested me was something about zone crawling. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, it was just a dumb idea, basically. Like, okay, so right, you got a map, right? And like, you could have hexes, and hexes are cool. Hexes work fine. Or you could do a point crawl, and that's fine too. But like, what if the hexes were not hexagonal shape exactly, but sort of amorphous and sort of, you just kind of break up the regions into these little zones, and then that sort of replaces the hex shape in a way. So it's just a different way to visualize your map and track movement and say, okay, this zone is like this and this zone is like that, and both of these zones together make this region or something like that. So just sort of another conceptual way to look at a map, I guess.
That's pretty nice. I think I'm going to add the counterpoint music in there because in past Hobbs and Friends episodes, I've obviously done Hex Crawl with the Hex Lords, Eric Hoffman and Jose Lacario. And then I did a point crawl with the man himself, Chris Kudelik, who I think started the point crawl thing. I don't know for sure. Sometimes those things are fuzzy.
I think you might be right. But yeah, it's definitely. It's sort of like a hybrid. It's really just a point crawl with a different name, I think.
Yeah, but I like zone because if you think about hex crawls, a lot of times we'll talk about zones being differently, especially in a West Marches type of environment. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Cool. Yeah,
Nice,
I think
man.
that's a good one to look at.
Good work. So I think briefly, very, very briefly, because this is really the main thrust of what I wanted to talk about today, I want to say this is the product that introduced me to you, The Evils of Iltmire, and that was from Zine Quest 2. Do you have like maybe what you would put on the back of a book, like a boilerplate or something? Let's just give the audience a teaser of what The Evils of Iltmire is.
So it's basically a little campaign setting and adventure in your pocket. It's like 72 pages or something interior, plus the cover, but it's basically a small hex crawl. It's got 19 hexes, and each hex is somewhat detailed so that there's something interesting to find, and you're not going to go to a hex and find it empty. There's something to do there. There's something to interact with, and I just like the idea of having there be some kind of dungeon in almost every one of them. So I got in over my head and did as many dungeons as I could fit into a zine, and tried to keep them like sort of that what do you call it, the dashboard style, where it's like, you got the
Panels, right?
yeah,
Or,
the panels. Yeah, you got the description, and then you got the map, and they're right next to each other, and you don't have to flip back and forth a lot. I think that helps make it a little bit easier to use during play. But it's basically a hex crawl, and so the idea is you can kind of just go there and just like explore and do whatever you want. But there's also an overarching plot that kind of ties it all together, that you can sort of discover as you go along and have no choice but probably get wrapped up into it, because the bad guys and the evil faction is going to come after the players no matter what.
nice. Pretty good. Pretty good. I hope all of your interests are piqued by that. And we'll go on to the next introduction portion of the show. How do we know each other? We don't. This is the first time we've seen each other, but we have talked on, like I said previously, email, Twitter, Discord, direct messages. I think it started with me just sending you something saying I liked your product and what you thought about this or that, and that I was going to run it, right? I mean, doesn't that sound right?
Yes, exactly. So I've been a fan for a while, watching and following. So I feel like I know you a little bit.
All right. Well, I appreciate
You and
that.
all you guys. Yeah.
You know how that is. It's kind of a weird thing where you don't know the other person, but they kind of know you just from what you're writing or what you're putting out there in social media. So pretty interesting. Nice. So let's talk about our gaming briefly. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to?
You go first.
All right. So I have not had a show in months. And when I look at my, I just put out a random screed not too long ago called 18 Days, and how many hours of podcast or how many games I played in 18 days, and it was 27 hours of games in 18 days, and that's
better than me.
And that's only gone crazy since then. So I mean, I'm playing normally 7 to 9 games a week. So
wow.
Pretty exciting for me, but I do want to brush over some quick. I have the OSE games, which is my legendary Kalmata game, which is a hex crawl, and it is a West Marches style game. It uses OSE, like I said, and then I have 2 weekly campaigns, White Sands and the North March, both from my Emergent Empire setting, which, by the way, I put Evils of Ilmire into, but it was called Days of Lincium because I renamed Ilmire into Lincium, and that's why this product is good, because you can easily put it into your campaign without having to change everything. It's what we call good vanilla in that way. It does it can fit right into your game. It's vanilla enough, but not too vanilla. So
I really appreciate that. Like, that's my favorite like badge that it could get is good vanilla, because that's totally what I was going for. I'm straight down the middle. I like that classic old school stuff, but just enough little things here and there to make it interesting and not just the same old I think.
Yeah, I'm a fan. That's good. I love that. I'm also have a weekly game of LFG, Low Fantasy Gaming, Chronicle of the Cursed Axe, and then I also have a West Marches game of Midlands. Midlands and Kalmata, maybe each of those once or twice a month. The other games are all weekly that I've mentioned. And then I'm on the... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go. You finish.
Okay. There's a lot here. And then I'm also on the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel, playing 2nd edition AD&D in 2 different campaigns, one being the Legacy of the Crystal Shard, which was created for D&D Next, and then the other being The Night Below, which was, I think that was a Beckme thing. But I'll tell you, we have done so much stuff in that game. We're on session 94 of that game, and we have not hardly gone into The Night Below yet. So
I have The Night Below here somewhere. It's right next to me. I can't find it. But
cool.
Yeah, that's like my favorite, man. It's back in the day.
Today, I was on the Dungeon Musing U channel just before this game just before this podcast, doing Shadowrun 3rd edition.
Yes, that's 2nd and 3rd are where I'm at right there.
Nice.
That's
I'd never played Shadowrun before. I'd read some books, and I had like the original Shadowrun 1st edition book, but I never played it. It's always one of those things I thought was really cool to read about, but not play, and I jumped at the opportunity to play it. So that's me, man. You go.
Well, I did want to rewind a little bit because you
Okay.
mentioned Kalmata. That's what Treasure Vaults of Zabadad or Zadabad?
Zadabad, the treasure
Zadabad.
vaults of Zadabad. It is for all you Twitchers out there. We will show it again. I show it all the time.
I love
I'm
it.
good. We'll talk about that later, I think.
Okay, we'll swing back to that. So
Yeah.
so I've been working, man. I have not played. I've been doing a little bit of play testing for Realms of Peril. That's what's coming on this coming Wednesday. We're starting the Kickstarter and launching that.
Mhm.
So I've just been playing with my kids and doing play testing that way because I'm hoping I'm going to start a big open West Marches campaign on Discord for all the backers and everything to come and play, and we can all play together. And it's going to be awesome. But for now, I've just been playing just here at home.
Pregnant
Yeah, you can let
pause
the
as I
crowd
get
in.
really excited. That sounds fantastic. I hope I can get an invite. That would be great.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
All right. Love it. Great. Back to the. All right. So this is the moment everyone's been waiting about or waiting for. Everything about you. You want to go or do you want me to?
Yeah, you go. Your turn.
All right. So this is kind of a lame one, but this would be the 69th Everything About You that I've done. I would just like to say that it's been a minute. And thanks again to all you people out there who have stuck with me, asked when we're going to have another Hexcrawl episode, when we're going to have another Hobbs and Friends episode, when am I going to do more random screeds. And I'm not just talking about Patreons on Patreon or people that hang out in the Gamerhood Discord. I'm talking about everywhere. It is, people say that the hobby is toxic and it's all these things. I can just say that's not really my experience. My experience is it's just like anywhere else. There's some douchers out there. I kind of stay away from them if I can. That's what I do. And the rest of it is just fantastic and awesome. I was so thrilled today. I went back and I played a bunch of random screed call-ins. So I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's a podcast on Anchor that I do. And on Anchor, it's like a radio show almost where I talk and then you can actually call into the show, not live, but you can call into the show and leave a message, and then I'll play those, and then I'll talk about those. And there's a whole bunch of people doing RPG podcasts on Anchor now. And so I went back to 2017 when I first started the podcast and played a bunch of the episodes, and I created a whole random screed just with those messages, and it was fantastic. And I just really want to thank all the people out there that are so great who listen, and I appreciate you. So you go, man.
Neat. That sounds really cool to me. The whole like calling in and leaving message stuff. That's awesome. I like that format. That's a good format. So I guess what's my goal here? I'm supposed to just talk about me.
Yeah, pick something that maybe people don't know about you. Like maybe, you're going to be famous now after you've been on the show. You're already
Nice.
famous, but you're going to, like maybe something you want people to know. Like some people say like what their actual day job is or just something interesting about you just to, whatever.
Sure. Yeah, I'm just old school, man. I've been playing D&D since I was like 9. I remember buying the red, I think it was the red box I don't know what they call it, but it was the original D&D, OD&D box set, and I loved it. And
You either look super young or you really don't know what you're talking about, Zach.
I don't know. Hold on. Let me get my dog
No,
out of here.
It's all right.
She's staring at herself in the mirror now,
It's
getting
fine.
mad. Get out of here.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. How old are you?
I am. I was born in '84, so whatever that
well,
makes me.
All right. So in
Lost
84,
track.
when you were 9, in 91, the red box for you might have been Beck Me, the Beck Me box by Frank Menser. That sound accurate or no?
I don't know.
Anyway, I don't know either. So it shows you I don't know what the hell I'm talking about either.
I'd have to look it up. I don't know who it is.
Doesn't matter. We'll talk
Yeah,
about
I think
it
it
later.
was a TSR thing. It was not.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if it had a name attached to it. I think it was the original Gygax version. It was like a reprint of Gygax.
That would like bid on an old wooden box. I don't think they ever reprinted the little brown books from the
No, I
74.
guess you're right. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'd have to go find it, but it was great. And yeah, and then we started playing Shadowrun, and then we played Vampire for a while, and then I started reading John Harper stuff and got really into small, mini, kind of indie. Like, we can throw out all of these convoluted rules for everything because I just don't care anymore.
Yeah, I got you. That's like Forge stuff, right? Isn't John Harper a
Yeah.
Forge guy? Yeah.
Yep, I was doing stuff on the Forge, and I was totally not understanding the mentality of the Forge until like a year after the Forge stopped, and then I really kind of like I would put out a rule, and they'd be like, "Why is that rule?" And I would be like, "What do you mean why? It's just all the games have these rules. Why wouldn't I have ammunition rules or something like that?" But now I understand kind of what they were getting at as far as like make a rule that contributes to what you want the game to do, not just because that's what everybody is doing and putting that rule in the game. So I kind of cut my teeth in the Forge, but have been sitting on actually putting my stuff out there for far too long.
That is awesome, man.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm excited.
Good.
I'm super thankful for all the Kickstarter support too, like all the backers and stuff like that. That's making dreams come true right there. I really appreciate everybody's support on that stuff. That's excellent.
Yeah, you did great. Awesome. All right, so thank you for that. Let's get into the main topic. So what I really wanted to talk to, which I feel everyone is going to be interested in once we mention it, is actually just this product that you created out, your mini mega dungeon, The Evils of Ilmire. So my first question is, why is this the first product that Spellsword is putting out?
So, like back in the day, I remember I remember making an adventure one time, like back in the '90s, and I knew that if I was ever going to make an adventure, it would be this one. I just thought it was original enough. I hadn't seen it done, and so I just decided Zine Quest was a good opportunity to jump in, and I just went back to the first page of the repertoire and started there.
All right. So if you were going to say, not necessarily inspiration for gaming, but inspiration for this product specifically, what are your biggest inspirations?
I guess I was basically, so they were like, okay, my team, my crew was basically like, all right, let's play tonight. We want to play D&D. So I'm like, all right, I got to come up with an adventure. So I started flipping through the second edition monster manual and found the Fear, which is like, I think it's FEYR, and it feeds off of fear. So I was like, okay, well, what if we put one of those like under the city, and then there was a dude or like some kind of like false priest that was egging on the fear and feeding this creature with fear by preaching all of this terrible, scary stuff. And so that was sort of where it originated, and it totally worked. They remembered, like my friends all remembered that adventure as being one of their favorites. So that was sort of confirmation that I think it worked well and would make a good adventure. And then I decided that I was going to start with that and then try to pack in as much content as I could to make it not just one little thing, but a full, complete, it's got everything you need to run for a couple months, and several parties could enjoy playing it.
All right. So why do you call it a mini mega hex crawl?
I wanted to give you like a full campaign, but still cram it all into a zine. So it could be a tome if you really wanted it to be, but I tried my best to make it pocket-sized. So it's like a pocket-sized, it's like a Pokemon.
Yeah. So to tell you guys, from my experience with the product, I ran 15 4-hour sessions of a campaign using the Evils of Ilmire, and we used maybe 3 of the locations. And there are
I
how
think
many?
there's 16
Yeah,
if you add the expansion. So it's quite a
16
bit.
locations. We used 3, and that was 15 4-hour sessions. So,
It's awesome.
that, 4 months, easily a year that you could run a whole campaign, especially if you added anything into it at all. So it is dense. It is dense with some awesome stuff. All right. So, what about like, who did you use for artists? And you can even shift into cartography for that if you want. Like, who'd you pick?
Yeah.
Why? And what made you do that?
So I had no money and really no startup funds. So there is a brilliant cartographer by the name of Dyson Logos, who I think everybody's heard of, and he has a Patreon. And part of his giving back to his patrons and really just the gaming community in general is he made basically almost his entire backlog of maps. Um, free. So you can use, they're free for commercial. Anybody's free to use them, and it's super generous. So I was able to use a bunch of those at no cost, which was great because I had no startup funds. And then I was able to license a bunch of non-commercial ones from him because they matched what I needed for that concept. So half of them are licensed and half of them are available on his website for any developer to use, which is, I mean, it's super awesome of him to do.
He
Um,
is a pillar of the community, if
yes,
there is a
excellent.
community. All jokes
And
aside,
then,
right?
so I also went on to Reddit and basically just found people that were making awesome maps and messaged them and said, "Hey, are you interested in doing a commissioned map?" And I found Patrick Olson, who I'm pretty sure he's in Scandinavia somewhere. So it's fun having friends across the way and kind of having an international effort. That was really cool. And I found a bunch of other artists that way too. Basically, just messaging people who are posting stuff on Reddit.
Oh, so that's a cool. That's interesting to me. I mean, that helps you guys out there how you might be able to do it with a low budget. We got Zine Quest 3 coming up, so
Exactly.
there you go.
Zine is awesome, man. I mean, it's such a good opportunity for creators and consumers to all band together. I'm so excited. I'm gonna back at least I don't know 10 zines or more this coming month. I can't wait.
All right, so leading into that, how do you feel that the Zine Quest or the Kickstarter specifically went? You got like any do's and don'ts or any advice or anything that you'd give anybody for Zine Quest 3?
Yes. So if you're going to do a zine quest, I would say that. Oh, I lost you. Are you still there?
I am. Just keep going ahead. We just lost your video.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, um, so I would say one, just do whatever you're excited to do. I think that it's easy. Personally, for me, it was easy to bite off a lot. It was a lot to chew through. So be careful about over scoping yourself. But you just do what you got to do. You still got to get it done no matter what. So, uh, and stretch goals. I think stretch goals became they went on a little longer than I had hoped. I mean, the pandemic happened right after the Kickstarter finished, so that was sort of a kick in the gut because I had some people lined up to. Let's see if I can get myself back going here. I had some people lined up to help me out with some of the stretch goals, but that sort of threw a wrench in that. So these coming Kickstarters will have much simpler stretch goals, I think. We ended up managing to finish all of them. Just recently, we released all of them. So all stretch goals completed.
I think a lot of people say that about the stretch goals, so keep that in mind, people. All right, so what about the Evils of Ilmire is your favorite thing? What about it, do you love? The product itself?
I think my favorite part is good question. I mean, as a whole, I just really, and I think it came out well. I guess my favorite part would be.
I mean, do you have a favorite dungeon? Do you have a favorite like table that you made, or a favorite NPC?
No, I'm terrible at favorites. Okay, yes.
Top three.
Yes, the Observer. I thought the Observer
Okay.
came out really neat. He was my favorite. He's kind of got like a Scooby-Doo type of thing going on. Somebody said. I thought that was a good analogy.
So the Observer never happened in my campaign at all. Did he happen in any of your play?
Yes, he was able to hire the PCs for a while. They eventually sort of caught wind that he might not be a great guy, but they never got back to challenging him.
Okay, they met him in person, or
Yeah, they discovered.
Okay. So
They got into his lair, and
nice.
he gave him a bunch of questions, and then he started to send them off on random errands, and they completed 2, and then never went back.
That's some serious hex crawling to do that. That's pretty darn cool. Nice.
It was fun, man. I wish I could have gotten a lot more playtesting done, but my in-person crew kind of fizzled out when the pandemic hit. So
Understood.
Yeah.
I did all the play online. Our game started like in May, and it went. I don't even know how long it went. 15 sessions for sure. So a few months. I would say one of the things that I had the most fun doing is on the Hexcrawl map itself. You have it numbered, and then you included like your own way, your own almost truths about the way to use the map. Which one of them was like the weather. So each time you're supposed to roll 3d20. I do it all at once, so I had 3d20 that I would roll, and it would tell you like which hex it was raining. So there's 19 hexes in the hex crawl map, and they're numbered obviously. And so you roll 3d20. If you roll a 20, it means stronger weather in one of them. Is that right, or what's the 20?
Yeah, so 20 I think means that you roll again, and it was and it's like a downpour, and in that hex, and then all the surrounding hexes also have rain in it. So it's
Same
like a
thing
big
if there's a double, right? If you roll 2 16s or something, so even the 20 would even match more. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and it also made me feel like Gary had it right, and you have to keep track of time. You don't have a meaningful campaign if you're not keeping track of time. But I enjoyed that. So I printed off just the map, and I'd have it sitting next to me, and then I'd have like I had 3 red D20 or D4s, and so I'd roll the dice, and then I'd put those on the map, and then I would always remember, I would just glance over if they ever did much hex crawling or anything. So that was kind of an interactive, awesome. I didn't have it actually on the Roll20 to show them. I mean, I had the map on there, but it's not like I didn't have like a special handout that would show, oh, this is where it's raining, because they wouldn't necessarily know that. And I'm really kind of maybe old school and only kind of telling players what their characters would know most of the time, unless they really want to do something beyond that. So I really thought that the way you were doing the maps, like he has his own methodology of moving around the hex map, which includes the weather, which includes how often do you roll random encounters. Each hex has its own random encounter table. Each hex has its own thing that happens in it. So you have 19 hexes. It's just a ton of material to fit into 72 pages. I've always been super excited about my own zine, the first one I did, which was 64 pages, and I called it a mini mega dungeon is what I called it, because it had lots of different sites, and none of them were massive, but it had a lot of different sites to explore, and I thought it was super dense. It doesn't match up to Evils of Ilmire. So
dude, link it anyway. I want to see it. I want to see your
all right, I will. So okay, so what would you do differently?
I guess I honestly did not enjoy. I don't really enjoy statting monsters that much. It's like one of my least favorite things. I kind of just have my own idea, and having to express that, especially like as much as I love the old school. Don't get me wrong, but it's like nobody needs to know the charisma of giant snail or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's just stuff that's not relevant that I feel like could be easily distilled out into something. I really appreciate the OSR for that reason. I think they do a really good job of minimizing, because I'm too old now, man. I can't. It's too complicated.
I don't like those big stat blocks from 3x and on. I don't necessarily like it in LFG because you have to, because that's what the problem is. As soon as you start making your ability scores, your saving throws, now you have to know what all your ability scores are. And people ask, well, why do you have a saving throw table? And that's part of the thing right there, is now you're going to decide, because every time you change it to ability scores, now you have it automatically is making your stat block bigger for your monsters. So
yeah.
Totally agree. But that didn't really answer the question. What would you do differently if you were recreating the evils of Ilmire? Is there anything in there? I'll tell you one thing. I sent this product to my man, Eric Hoffman, the author of the Treasure Vaults of Zadabad, which I was really hoping you were going to say, oh, no, that product was one of my inspirations for making the evils of Ilmire.
Definitely. I mean, so I could have swore, who does Zadabad?
It was Carl Bussler and Eric Hoffman.
Okay, yeah, because I play tested. Yeah, I play tested with Carl Bussler with DCC before he had published it. So
nice.
Yeah, I love Isle of Dread and Treasure Vaults of Zadabad is definitely those two. I think definitely played a role in inspiration, as well as. There's the one by Nate Treem. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I can't remember the name off the top.
Dungeon, it's written for Dungeon World or Perilous Lands? No?
It's like a standalone little weird space game, but it had the 19 hex style little hex crawl, and that was a big inspiration.
Nice.
As well as the Night Below. The Night Below has always been my, that's what I think is the best. That's my golden standard.
So here's one of my. Oh, go ahead. Yeah. I guess you should answer that. You don't know what you would do? Oh, that's fine. That's cool.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think no.
That's awesome. Actually, if you wouldn't do anything differently. So here's one of the questions that we had, Eric Hoffman and I, when we were discussing this, and there may be a Hex Talk episode about that.
Okay.
Why, when you did the you did kind of a small hex map key, which I think this was your concept of the control panel, where you have the hex map and then a very brief synopsis of each hex. But then when you went into the details of each of the hexes, you didn't do them in numerical order.
Yeah, that was sort of dumb. It's just, so it started out, it got so big, and I had been working on it for so long that it all started to just blend together into a big sort of miasma in my head. And when I was writing it, I started to feel like there was some sort of information that was delivered in certain order that if I started to change it, maybe it would be confusing. And things that I would do differently, that's it. Basically, is just put them in numerical order. Yep. and make sure, and then re-go and back through the beginning, write it out to make sure there's nothing that is being referenced that hasn't really been explained or detailed.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that I found was difficult to traverse through the book. If you're using a PDF or the actual physical product, finding out that that was tough for me. And that's the first thing he said. And I mean, I really trust Eric, because I'm a Treasure Vaults of Zadabad has been my number one product almost of any RPG product for a long time. Definitely a hex crawl product, because there's not too many. Like Swordfish Island, like Jeff Seifert was mentioning, is a good one. Treasure Vaults, Isle of Dread. Those are I don't know this Nate Treem one, so I'm definitely going to have to look at that. Put that in the show notes maybe.
Awesome. I have to look that one up. I can't remember.
All right, so we are running out of time already, but what I'm thinking about doing, this is 2021. Maybe I won't make it 40 minutes. Maybe we'll get a little longer if that's okay with you.
I got a little bit longer, and then I got some dinner plans with the family, but yeah.
Okay. All right, so why don't you talk about what's next for Spellsword?
So I have in February. I have 2 Kickstarters running back to back for Zine Quest. The first one is Realms of Peril. So Realms of Peril is, and I put it in the show notes there with the link to it. It is sort of what I've been working on since about 2012. So I discovered Dungeon World and Apocalypse World, and I really liked the way that those played. Um, I'm not a huge fan of like the super narrative. I kind of got this OSR thing that I still want to try to maintain, but I really like. I just always end up playing, even when I play old school D&D now. I still sort of just. I really like the players do all the rolling, and then it's not a binary pass fail. There's also a chance that you may pass, but also encounter danger, which to me just adds an extra level of richness that was missing when it was all just simulation, yes or no, binary. It just didn't. I don't know. Conceptually, it works better for me.
I get you. That's the horseshoe, man. That's the horseshoe we talk about. The difference between story games and OSR games isn't that big unless you're, because even at the far ends, it actually tends to get closer, because I've never been just pass fail rolling. And when I ran OSR games in 1980, I wasn't just pass fail. You'd use the die to kind of decide what would happen. So, and just, give levels of each thing. So awesome. All right. Sorry, go ahead.
So it sort of developed into this. Like I was playing Dungeon World, but then there's John Harper's World of Dungeons, which is like an ultra minimalized version, which I really, really loved, and started to play that. And then I sort of worked into this sort of hybrid where, even if I was playing Dungeon World, the players wouldn't necessarily see all the moves. I would sort of use the moves as ways to adjudicate different types of situations that come up, and so. That's kind of what Realms of Peril is. From the player's point of view, it's very OSR. There's minimal character sheets, so it's not, the answer's probably not on your character sheet. It's just, that's the only thing you need. And then there's a core mechanic that faces the players, and then all the moves that you would be used to are on the DM side or the GM side. And so that's just kind of how I ended up running all games, and now I'm trying to sort of codify that into a West Marches focused game.
So it's a game system, or is it like a setting or location as well?
Correct. It's a game system specifically for West Marches, and it's being fully illustrated by DC Stowe, who is awesome. I'll add his link to the show notes there. He's doing amazing work. I'm really excited for that. And then after that, we have the Dragon Wilds, which is the campaign setting, a West Marches style campaign setting. It's going to be kind of like Evils of Ilmire, although I don't know exactly if there's going to be some overarching plot through the whole thing. I kind of like the idea of just a bigger campaign setting with maybe smaller overarching plots for different areas. So that's still being conceptualized and finalized, and then that'll kickstart in February as well.
Wow, that sounds like you got a lot on your plate. Is there anything else you wanted to say? What was the second one called?
It's called the Dragon Wilds.
Okay, and the Dragon Wilds is going to be written for agnostic, or are you doing it for Realms of Peril?
So Realms of Peril will sort of have the OSR stat blockish, and so it's going to be super easily compatible. Dragon Wilds will intend to be the campaign setting for Realms of Peril, but it's also totally easily used for all OSR games.
Awesome. Those games sound great. I hope everyone will check them out. I think I already signed up. You can follow the Kickstarters before they even start or something, right?
Yes, there's a follow page so you can get notified, but Realms of Peril will go live on this coming Wednesday, which should be February 3rd.
All right. I don't know how long. I haven't dropped the episode, but I'm going to put it on the editor, and we'll try and get this out. Maybe we'll get it out by then. Usually by Thursday, he usually has it if I have it done before Monday. So
no worries.
We'll get it out there so people can check it. You'll have time. All right. So if you were going to leave either a legacy in the old school gaming scene, or if you died, what would your epitaph be? You can answer either question. You choose.
Shoot. I don't know what my epitaph would be. So I guess if I was going to leave a legacy, I like the idea of being maybe one of those people that was able to sort of bring back some of the classic things without all the negative baggage that always came along with it, I guess, and sort of be known for. I like the good vanilla idea. I just that hits the right note for me. I like being known for good vanilla, and it'd be cool to be known as the good vanilla guy.
Yeah, you can join Gabor Lux, who is going to be on an episode very soon. He's already agreed to it. And I think I'm going to bring Eric Hoffman back, and that'll be awesome.
Yeah, that would be excellent.
All right, so cool. That sounds great, man. You'll be one of the good vanilla guys. I don't know if I can give you, the guy, but maybe, we'll see. We'll see.
That's fair.
Maybe you'll overcome it. I don't know. All right, so let's get into some appreciation of the patrons. I like to give 3 shout outs. So DM Dave, I don't know if you guys know who this is. He was on one of the episodes of Hobbs and Friends. He has a massive patron where he gives out free dungeons all the time. It's crazy. Next up is Colin Spike Pit Green. Thank you so much for being a patron of Hobbs and Friends. It's much appreciated. And then Angus. I don't know what Angus's last name is. Cool guy, though. Met him at GaryCon, and he also does a podcast with my man, Ray Otis. So you 3, thank you so much. I usually talk about TJ Drennan's Patreon, but he's on hiatus right now. But still appreciate your music, man. Thank you so much for all the bumpers, the theme music for Hobbs and Friends, Lost in Agata, Kalmata, all the stuff was all done by TJ Drennan, and he is the mother effing man. So thank you guys. If you want to be a patron of Hobbs and Friends, it's www.patreon.com/OSRN Hobbs. Most of my Patreon now is about being in my games, really. It's different tiers to get into different games. But the main thing for it is it's a support system for the entire gamerhood. So I appreciate it. You got a patron or anything you want to talk about, Zach?
No. Just the Kickstarter. We could push people there. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, just kick ass on his Kickstarter. It's worth it. You'll love the Evils of Ilmire. I've saw in the chat that a few people said they ordered it tonight after just hearing us talk about it already.
I have to order new ones. I'm out.
So
I got a couple left.
If someone wanted to contact you about your evils, Zach, how would they get in contact with you?
Spellswordnet@gmail.com.
Awesome. I'm on the Twitters @OSRN Hobbs, or you can get my private account, which is @Hobbs Indeed. I also have lots of ways to interact with you guys. The main one, I'm probably all the time on the Gamerhood Discord. I Twitch 4 to 5 times a week. Show up in there. I have a YouTube that I'm really trying to get to. One of my goals for this year, 2021, is get to 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube. So if you like the show, if you like any of my podcasts, go over there and follow and subscribe. That would be awesome. And then I have a Hobbs and Friends Facebook page, and I also have an HNF Facebook page where all of my Twitch games, streams, podcasts, everything on Twitch also streams to that. Well, my man, that's almost the end of the show. You got any last words or anything before we go? If any of your last moments, I really want to show you some stuff and the people on the, like on the Roll20 and stuff like that. You got any last things before we shut off the podcast?
No, sir. I appreciate the opportunity to come on, and yeah, any time you got availability, I'd be happy to come back.
Awesome. Thank you very much. TJ, hit the music. All right, so that is finalizing. Now we can interact with the chat as much as we want to. Did you see any questions on there that you wanted to answer?
Let me roll back here. Let's see.
How much time you got?
I can answer a couple quick ones here, and then I probably need to roll. What makes a good hex crawl? To me, what makes a good hex crawl is, I guess, I prefer density. Like if it's a big empty hex crawl with not a lot going on, it's not that exciting. I guess I would prefer to see something specific and unique, and usually something interactive. I prefer site-based things versus one-off encounters that, unless they're like somehow easily recyclable, which is then totally cool. Like if that guy is always there and he's always doing this thing, that I think that works pretty good for a hex crawl.
Nice. So
Yeah.
here's the hex map, guys. This is the hex map. That's the one I was talking about that I had printed off. And then he's got information. There's something in all of these, be it a dungeon or be pretty much like a dungeon or the town or the carnival in every single one of these hexes. So this is the hex map out of the book. And I wanted to show you this. This is the hex map I did in Roll20 for the players. What do you think, man? Can you see it?
Let's see. How do I...
On Twitch. If you go to Twitch, you can see it. Or I could... I can't share my screen. Otherwise, it'll screw everything up.
I see a commercial on Twitch.
Oh, did you shut it off? I didn't know. Oh, yeah, did you like...
No, I paused it because I just...
Oh, I got you. That's smart. So anyway, You guys out there, there's that. And then I was going to show you... Let me know if you get to it.
There, I can see it now. Yep.
Yeah, so this is the map that I made. You can see all the mountains up here. Here's where the town is, the lake. So there's actually a hex map there, and then they could move that token around to wherever they were at. I just thought I'd show it to you. I thought you might think it was cool.
Yeah, definitely. I could see all the different locations, but again, like I love watching it go into somebody's head, and then how do they express it is very interesting and neat.
So here is my map of Lyncium, or this would also be Ilmire, the town of Ilmire. And so you guys can see the sweet map that he has. Oh, I'm going the wrong way, I think. Nope. So this is my map of Ilmire. So, you have the, over here is like the big, the thing in Holland. I can't think of what it's called. So these are just some different areas I use for them to explore. Because I'm kind of heavy into tactical combat with tokens and maps and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't seem impressed. You're like, oh, what? Why would you do that?
No, I think it's super neat. I'm just looking around. I could totally see you've got the mansion, and you got there's the temple, and the graveyard, and the well.
Some tokens, the well. Lots of stuff happened. This is the ruins of the Druid's hut, and a lot of cool stuff happened. Here is also a great. This is the map of Ilmire that is in the product, which is super cool. Kind of who did this art?
The main map for Ilmire was Patrick Olson.
Okay, so that's pretty sweet. I can show you like this was the end of. This is kind of what's this? Oh, okay. Oh, that's
I'm behind.
Some toads.
My stream is behind you.
Oh, that's I think that's common. So
yeah.
Here is the this is kind of where the campaign ended. This was actually the fisherman, the grotto. Oh, I haven't moved it. That's why you can't see. So this is the map I made of the grotto of the dudes who live underwater. So it's kind of hard to see in this instance, but this is where they could swim around. And here's some of the rooms that you could get into. Here's the two white caimans that you had in there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't see it. My Twitch stream is way behind you, I think. Oh, there we go. Now I can see. Yep. Nice.
Yeah. So the players wouldn't be able to see all this empty space. They can only see what's inside there. So this would be an example of what a player could see, I think.
Heck yeah, there's a lot of work put into this, man.
This is the next level down.
Yeah, up there I can see it now. That's awesome.
So this is where the TPK happened, where they got into the actual it wasn't a total TPK. This is where they got into the actual So if you guys want to see, here's an example of what the PDF map was. So it's all one map here, but I just broke it into two so they couldn't tell like when they were moving under and over top of different things. So
Gotcha.
this is the map that he used, and then this is the map that I created. So this would be like, what is this, room 13, where they all the fishmen live, and they got in a huge fight with them there, and everyone but the wizard died, but he was blinded because he had no light under the water.
Gotcha.
So it was pretty brutal.
Yeah, that's a rough one, man. I mean, that was one of those OSR things where you give them a challenge and you don't know exactly how they're gonna solve that one.
That's what I do with everything.
Yeah.
I'm not messing around. I feel like I should have a map of the hills. Somewhere. I don't know if you're enjoying this or not, I guess. You guys are all my captive audience now. Let me talk about my D&D game.
Tell me about your characters. No, this is cool, man. I like seeing everybody else's games. I like to watch and follow along just to kind of, see what everybody else is up to. What do they do? How do they do it?
So this is the actual map that I used because I didn't figure out how to put this onto another map. This would have been too hard. This is a Dyson Logos map, right? Can you see it or no?
Not yet. I think it's okay. Yep. Now I see it.
Yeah. So that's the Dyson Logos map, which is actually in the book. So this is straight out of the book. But I did do a different map for this.
Oh yeah, I did end up photoshopping some of the maps to kind of make them more unique and add some elements that were part of the scenario, like the tower, like Broken Tower wasn't.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
So here, oh shit. This is the map for beneath the tower where the fearmonger is.
Gotcha.
So you can actually see the fearmonger there that the guys battled. So it was fun.
Did they survive that one?
They did. Yeah. This is almost the first thing they did is they went to the fake watchtower and took out everybody there. So that was like the first thing that they did actually, and then got involved. They actually went to Lyncium or Ilmire because they found like a caravan that was attacked, and then they tracked it straight there. And so that was the focus. That was like 5 or 6 sessions that we went through.
Oh, gotcha. So they ended up there before they went to Ilmire, yeah.
Yep. They totally did. So this is where I kept track of everything. You talked about having a pyre.
Right, yep.
So this is kind of where we did this was the pyre over here. All these characters died in the campaign.
Oh, no.
Some of these are NPCs, but some of them aren't.
It's fun to see the dead start to pile up a little bit. It gives tension.
They definitely did. We make fun of Hawk, my cousin, because he went through 5 or 6 characters.
Nice. Deadly.
So, yeah. I mean, and it's an old school game. I use shields can be sundered and a lot of other ways to keep people alive, but you can't just rush in or you're going to have some problems. All right. I know you got to get going. I don't want to stop you from having dinner. I don't think we missed any questions, right?
Somebody asked a question about play testing. I mentioned, I wanted to do more play testing. How much did I do? I play tested roughly, probably for about 4 months, as often as I could. So it was definitely not nearly enough. There could have totally been more play testing. Like I said, I kind of lost my ability to play test with my crew there a little bit. How do I know when I'm done play testing? I don't know if I ever got to a point where I felt like there was enough playtesting. But I also didn't want to keep dragging it out. I thought, it was gonna do the trick as much as it could. Next time around for these newer things, I'm setting a longer timeline, and I've for like Realms of Peril, for example, I've been playtesting since 2012, 2013. So on and off as much as I could. So that's actually gone through a lot. And I guess what kind of gave me the signal that there's not a whole lot left to do was people were basically like, yeah, it's good. It's fun. Yeah.
Why not, man? Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Like I said, we had a blast on it. This is the last map I'll make you look at. This is the temple beneath the luminous star. If you can see it.
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome.
So they killed another one of the fearmongers down here. Not the mother, but
right.
So they freed the town from the cult, and that's when then they went off and got killed in the fish grotto. So
we need to just give you a commission, and then all of your maps we could just add to the Ilmeyer zip file.
So these are Gabriel Picard maps that I used assets to create. So all you'd have to do, you don't have to pay me. All you'd have to do is say, or like we can just turn them onto a folder somewhere, because you can stream them. You can do whatever you want with Gabriel Picard maps as long as you're not making money off of them. So
gotcha.
Yeah, if you have like a free spot, you wanted a free spot, you could do them. I could definitely send you some images of how I did them, because I think people would enjoy that.
Yeah, if they're going to play on Roll20, that's awesome.
And that's what everyone's doing right now. So,
sweet, man. I super appreciate it, but I got to run.
All right. Totally appreciate you being here, man. It was great to finally get you. Like I say, we'll get this put out as soon as we can. You'll be able to find the YouTube videos right away, where you can, share them to everybody, make them see what's going on, and maybe get people excited. Maybe put it out on your backer messages once it comes out. Hey, I was on Hobbs and Friends, everything. But other than that,
Sure.
you're welcome to take off, and we will we'll let you go, man. Have a good dinner. And I hope you guys enjoyed the post show. I'm going to hang out if you guys want to hang out, but we're going to let Zach get out of here. Thanks, Zach.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Talk to you later.
Bye now.
Cool.
All right, you guys, you're stuck with me for a little while. I don't have another game tonight because we did that episode. You guys got any questions or anything you want us to, anything you guys want to see? We got a lot of people here, it looks like. Why don't you guys sign off? You're picking up some channel points. We got a game tomorrow at 8 a.m. Chronicle of the Cursed Axe is going to be on tomorrow. And then I'll be on the Crystal Shard game on the Dungeon Musers YouTube. I have OSE Advanced, and in Kalmata, the last Kalmata game, Paladin showed up. So, yeah, I think so. I'm not going to change it. I don't know how much I'll change it. We'll see. I mean, I'm a BX player at heart, or GM, really. I don't GM Osric or First Edition or any of those things, but I think I will insert the advanced stuff into the game as much as it works. So, I mean, I have a pretty massive collection of OSE right now. So, yeah. So, yeah, you guys see that Wicked Studios LLC is here. He has his own Twitch channel that you should check out. He's running a Greyhawk adventure, and he's got some pretty hilarious people that play in his games. They got a Discord, so check him out. Mark CMG was here. He's got a show on Mondays and Thursdays, I think. I'm not sure. There's a nice shout out. I was going to add the sounds to this, but I didn't want to add the sounds when I was actually doing the podcast because I thought that probably wouldn't be cool. Although I might do that next time because I'm getting the podcast audio from a different location. So yeah, maybe that would be good. What else is up, y'all? Anything? We want to stick a fork in this thing or what? I wanted to thank Egolis for following. Oh, and the hat. So this is a fitted hat, and the patch comes from my friend Thaddeus Moore, and you can buy these patches. I will put a link in the show notes to get the patches. I don't know if Aero Dolphin 975 was trying to post a link or if that is I don't know who Aero Dolphin is, so I don't know. It might be a bot. I don't really know. I just have links turned off for people. So let's take a look over at YouTube. Awesome. All right. Hey, YouTubers. Shout out to Fred Daniel. Thanks, my man, for showing up. I appreciate it. Bromo Sunstar Ranger, a fan of gaming and BS. Thanks for hanging out with us while we did the show. I don't know if you follow yet, but go ahead and hit the subscribe and the notification button. David McLeese, a new follower on the YouTube channel. Thanks, my man. I appreciate that. Fantastic. That's awesome. So we got some watchers over on YouTube right now. This is the multi-streaming thing. What do you guys think about it? You guys got anything to say? I noticed that I've been getting some dropped frames. Has anybody noticed the stream being wonky? Anywhere? Twitch or YouTube? Hey, Jason Weeb showing up in the YouTubes. Thanks, buddy. Oh, Wiki Snapper. Thanks, buddy. Watch out for Wiki Snapper. He's got some cool stuff that he works on all the time. I don't know. Yeah, I've been seeing some frames dropped, so maybe we won't multi-stream So I had so many things running that it's unbelievable. Let's see if it still happens, because I'm not pulling up so much from Discord anymore. In fact, I could turn Discord off. Nice. So Discord's off, so I doubt we'll get any more because that video was coming in, but that was it. All right. So I'm trying to look for the Facebook. I think I have Facebook somewhere. Anybody want to see any other maps or anything from this game? No, that's not it. Could you guys hear my wife talking in the background? She was pretty loud there for a little while. I think I might have shut that off. I don't know. Hey, Kustash. Kustash, where are you signing in from? I know you told us the other day. Is it Portugal? I don't remember. So if you guys haven't ever seen any of my streamed games, this is kind of what it looks like. Yeah, these are kind of what the maps look like when I run a game on the stream. Pretty cool. Yes, you could build Barrow Maze with these assets, no doubt about it. It would take you a very, 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 very long time, I would imagine, because it's very big. I use Gabriel Pickard for my maps. And those maps are mostly through Roll20. But if you use another VTT, you can if you purchase them, you can also download all those assets and then use them in Foundry or wherever you want. Oh, see, I just got another drop frame message. So it's not over. It's not over, guys. Probably because I just tried to open Facebook. All right. It says that we're still live over there. But if you use another VTT, so I don't know if anyone ever showed up or not on the old Facebook. I don't know, guys. I don't know. So Roll20 is you're going to be limited by the amount of size you have, I would say. So if you're going to do a bunch of maps, then you're going to want to be, and so you have the three different versions of subscription. You have the free one, and you have the middle one, I think that's called Pro. It's called Plus. Then you have the one that's called Pro. So if you want to have a ton of maps, then you want to have at least the Pro version. So talking about that, I can show you like so these are, can you see this? No. So let's do this. Oh, that's not going to work. So these are all the maps I had for this game. Not bad, but when you look at some of the maps, they're pretty extensive. Pretty cool. Now let's look at another campaign. So this is what I'm just going to show you guys what my Roll20 looks like. So here you go. 4,894 hours. Let's go. Let's get that to 5,000. I say, because why not? Another one of my campaigns that I mentioned is Kalmata. So I can show you what Kalmata looks like. So this game has been around for a very, very long time. It's like, I don't want to open. Oh, you guys might see some secret maps here. So this is a massive map. This is the mound in the Platybeladon graveyard. So what do you think about that? I have to make it bigger. Yeah, so this is the map for the Platybeladon graveyard, which is pretty massive. I don't even know how many squares this is. So 75 wide. And 75 long. So a pretty big map, and it uses a whole bunch of different assets from Gabriel Pickard. So it doesn't look like this to the players at all. So you can see these are only the maps that I have up right now. But look at this. Can you see that? 96 archived. So these are all of my, these are all the maps for Kalmata. So there's the starting map. I'll show you a map that I really think is super cool, that people almost never go to. The Canyon of Doors. So I'm really proud of this one. The Platybalodon Graveyard is good too. But this is the Canyon of Doors. So this is an interesting idea of what it looks like for players versus what it looks like for the GM. So it kind of looks kind of bare when you look at it this way. Not really that impressive at all. Yeah, I just restore them. I archive them the rest of the time. Mostly because it takes up too much room when I'm looking for a map. And so when I know, that's why one of the reasons why I ask where people are going before the session starts, because I know which maps to archive or unarchive, and then I can go from there. So what we'll try to do is see if we can't see what it looks like for a player. So here's good old Baggio Gar. So this is what Baggio Gar would see. So it looks similar, but the areas where it's blocked off are now gone. And it's multiple levels, right? So this area is up. Oh. Multiple leveled areas all over the place. These are all little crypts. And you can see there's like 38 of them or more. I don't even know how many there are. So if you want to see what a character can see, you just hit Control. They have to be selected and then hit Control L. And this is what that character can see. So, I don't know. Pretty cool, I think. I think that's a cool looking map. I don't know if it's the best map, but it's a cool one. Yeah, I have some really big maps that people haven't really done much with. So look at how big this thing is. I do. I have maps. This is dynamic lighting that I'm using for that. I do use Fog of War for other things. So I don't even have any characters in here to show you what it would look like if they were in here, but pretty cool looking map. Like everyone's taken off. They're like, what are we doing? This is the worst stream ever. I feel like, well, I think this might be a cool map. Well, I can't see a damn thing. So if I get time, I will preload tokens. So this is actually a demi plane of Chakra, where the demons are from. So this is a pretty good session. This is just an idea of what things look like to me. Here's good old Sliverbits. You can't see shit because there's nothing in there that's creating light, I think. That's the floor and fire magma. Most of the time I'm making it online. So sometimes I'll use other things as inspiration. Like if I'm running a one-shot and I'm running the Whitestone Tower from Low Fantasy Gaming, and I'm trying to do... I want to do an example of what the map actually is, plus what have my own take on it, or like what I'm trying to follow or stuff, then I will use that as well. So, see, I played in Barrel Maze. I played in a few different Barrel Maze games. So these aren't just my games, right? These are games that I didn't create, but these are also games that I played in. I forgot what I was looking for. Oh, I'm looking for Whitestone Tower. This is it. So I made this map. I made this whole thing. I actually did a video on this. This is my, if you check my YouTube channel, you'll see how to start a campaign 101 on Roll20. This is the map. This is the campaign that I did for one shot that I wrote a couple times. So you've seen most of these maps. This is just a splash page where I show the character tokens. And then here's the Sweet Midlands map. Very nice. Here's the Vorngard map. Also a staple on this channel. And now here's some more maps. I'll just restore all these. So part of the reason there's so many maps is because I took these from... I might have copied this over from something else. So... that's all the farther it went in that way. So, like I'll do random encounter maps, which I don't necessarily have to do them a lot for. There's just some examples. The really sweet map in this is coming up. So a lot of these are on different layers. So you're seeing the GM layer when you're looking at this, not the player layer. So I ran this 2 different times, so I got like 8 hours out of all this work. So this is the cave of this feasting grounds right here. So sometimes I'll do it right on the same map, and sometimes I won't. It all depends on when I did the map and how I'm feeling at the time. So this is a pretty cool map, I thought. It was like a Thule camp that has some different, like an ambush up here if you went up here, and some different stuff going on. So it's kind of a longer map that you could go around the Thule encampment if you wanted to, but you never know what people are going to do. So I like to add some options. This is the awesome map for this campaign, for this thing here. So this is this tower. The idea of this map is I'm recreating this tower up here. So here is the tower. So I put that picture up in the corner where I could show people where they were. So then I could like show you what level of the tower you're looking at from the outside. And so area 1 is the ground level. Area 2 is the second story. Area 3, or that's Area 3, it would be the third story or whatever. So I had each level and I made them the same so you could have tokens that were outside plus tokens that were inside. And the way that dynamic lighting works, you would only be able to see what your character can see. So yeah, this is the one that I did on YouTube. All right, Wicked Studios, I'll see you later, man. Thanks for cruising by. So yeah, anyway, these are some of the things that I do with Roll20. And most of these maps aren't going to survive. So this is the map that I created that from. So this is actually two maps. So this part over here is the other map, right? This is the one where the Thule encampment is and all that. And then here is the Whitestone Tower area itself. And then this down here is the area where those ants were, what I think I called feasting or something. So all of the different maps are this single map that's above you. So this is a pretty good adventure. If you want to see how this played out, you're going to want to watch like the Whitestone Tower adventure. I think one of them I did for Gamehole Con last year. And then I also did a play test of it. First I did a play test and then I did the Gamehole Con, which I think I have YouTube videos of. I don't know. I might not have, but anyway. Yeah, so I made the outside area first, and then I added the other parts. Then I changed the tower on the inside to make it the way I want to. I think I might have. I'm going to share one more, and then we're going to call it a night on this thing. I got to figure out what the name of that campaign. Lost in Agata. Here it is. So you like the music to Lost in Agata, Weebs. I can't remember how many of the games you actually saw, though. So the guys did this area of this map. They never saw the rest. Looks like I did a bunch of multiple levels that have now been cut off that I could reopen. But as you can see, they barely even got into this thing of the work that I had actually done on it. So if you didn't get to see the Lost in Agata game, I got 21 archived maps plus all these maps. I don't think this was ever used. What's this? Oh yeah, that's the Barbarian Cave. That was north of Barth. Here's the Barth area map that I did. In Random Screed, I recently talked about what this campaign was all about. So most of it just took place in this area here. And then the next stage that I did, I made this map so we could do more checking out. And that was all over here. The map that I wanted to show you guys. Was this. I felt like this was a pretty awesome map. This was almost for the finale of the campaign, or the first season of the campaign. So this is a massive hill that's kind of shaped like an anvil. So this would be ground level. And then as you traveled up this hill, you'd be at a higher and higher and higher elevation, which is why these towers and everything look so small that are off here. See that? Because you're looking way down to see them way below. So the way this went down is they actually got on top of this. They could have went from the bottom and then went up and fought through all the creatures to get up to the top here. But they didn't do that because there was a secret entrance to get in and then they made their way through this dungeon area to make it to the top. And so they had to fight their way through the whole dungeon to get up to the top and then get in the fight. So I think that's this one. That is not it. There we go. This is it. So it started on the side of the anvil. So when you compare that other map to this map, this is where it all started, was here on the outside. Then there was like a whole cave complex that I don't think they didn't even go into this portion of the cave complex. I had some pretty crazy shit in there. Like I had a witch, and then I had like this giant undead boar hanging out in the water. Pretty crazy. They went up these stairs, and they marched their way through this ancient dwarven complex. So in the actual map that I took, this map may have been done, but then I added other things to it. And then I'll block off walls if it's bigger than I want it to be. And I only want to use a portion of it. So like you can see, I added something to this here. So that's actually there. So you could actually make more stuff over here if you wanted to. But I just added that piece to block it off so you can't see it. So that's some stuff that I do. So anyway, I think we'll wrap it up. We got tons of people here. I'm so surprised that this many people are hanging out. I think that's probably why I continued to hang out. So thanks so much. We got more people on YouTube. I appreciate everyone that showed up. We will try and do it again. So we didn't have Mr. Mean's low fantasy gaming game tonight, but we did have about 2 hours of a Hobbs and Friends podcast recording, the first Hobbs and Friends of 2021. I hope it was a good one. I hope you guys all enjoyed yourselves. I know I enjoyed your being here. I know I enjoyed myself, and I can't say enough about you guys. If you really like what you saw, what's going on, consider following at YouTube or at Twitch. Consider subscribing. Hit the notification button. Subscribe or whatever. I mean, I have a Patreon. You can support on Twitch. You can support on YouTube, I think. Tell everybody. Get everyone you know. Tell them to go to the Hobbs and Friends YouTube. So it's just YouTube/Jason Hobbs. And subscribe. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers over there if we can. Otherwise, I'll be right back here in less than 12 hours. 11 hours. We'll be right back here playing Chronicle of the Cursed Axe. I got a lot of prep work to do for that. Can't wait to see you all. It's really been fantastic. And I mean that. So thank you so much. Otherwise, you guys got to hear this 3 different times in this YouTube video. I don't know if that's enough. I'm going to add the Lost in a God of Music.
It's a beautiful day in the game. Oh, a beautiful day for my gamers. Would you be one? Could you be one? Shout about thunder, but don't despair. This colony's breeding great robbers. Would you be one? Could you be one? If the 80% mortality rate works for you, for a few bucks a month you can sign up and have the Hobbs kill you. So let's make the most of another Sunday. Brew up some coffee and play it my way. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my gamers? Won't you please, won't you be my gamers?
Bye.